Hello.
Hello.
How goes it?
How do you answer that?
I don't know.
How goes it?
How's it? Yakumama karate back home. Is that the what do we say now? It's mixed race. What's politically correct?
Do you know what? That is actually a very interesting topic, because obviously in the West, colored is a term you just don't say, because everyone has color. But then it'll be interesting to do an episode with mixed race people from Zim and SA to kind of understand what they think, because I've kind of seen conversation online where there are people who are like, no, like, we call ourselves colored, like we're in South Africa, we're in Zimbabwe,
Cape Coloreds,
and that's our term. You can't you can't transpose Western
standards
views, to us, like colored, like we embrace the term. And the thing is, what's interesting is like Zim SA, I think SA is probably the same. It's almost like colored is not even mixed. It's not even direct, like half black, half white. It's like you come from a family of colors, right? It's like your
great
and then like they marry within, and then though I remember even Trevor Noah used to have this joke where he was like, he wasn't colored enough because he was like half. They're like, no, you're not.
You don't qualify because the black is too close.
Yeah, and you don't have because it's a culture. It's almost a culture. It's not just DNA, it's a culture. So it'll be interesting to it'll be interesting. Guys, let us know what you guys think. Because
even South Africa, like, the Cape Town, like there's the term Cape Coloreds, isn't there? So I say what's politically correct. I guess it's like what's politically correct for the West and what's politically correct for people in different places will be different. But anyway, how's it?
But the thing is, not to go deep, but the way our racism or colonialism was so internalized, like they did such a stellar job in really internalizing. So actually even fighting to say, no, we are colored, like, is that part of that real internalized colonialism, internalized racism that is really kind of stirring up? I think possibly it is. But again, I am not, that's not my culture. So I can't speak authoritatively on it. But yeah.
Anyway, my question still stands. How's it? How's it going? Is that what I said initially? I've been forgotten.
You said how's it going?
Yeah.
It's going, man. It's going, man.
In the right direction.
I hope so. I hope so. It's I was gonna say it's not inside. It's on top.
It sounds Episode 1 of Girl in Styles podcast.
It's not inside, it's on top. That's what my
Why? How have you turned that into like that whole innocent Cremora advert?
But what were they saying?
And was it not like they were the wife or the husband or the man or woman in this advert was looking for a Cremora? So this person's looking carotene, fridge. Then they're like, oh, it's not inside the fridge, it's on top. But why would you be keeping Cremora inside the fridge?
Yeah, so maybe they were trying to sell what you can keep it in a dry space. It doesn't need to.
But why do you need to educate people? Why that you need to keep powdered dry milk in an outside space that's not inside the fridge?
But you know what? Zim marketing people, ad people were so good back in the day. You had Cremora, you had Sunlight.
Eish.
Is it
Sunlight.
Same for Sunlight? The one that
Sunlight.
had the Mwana wangu ndiye. What was it?
Is it not? I think it was the bar of Sunlight.
Yeah.
Where they go at different spaces and they're like
where
washing.
the man is washing and then people keep stealing.
Yeah, it was the Sunlight. Was it Sunlight? Was it Perfection?
I'm not
It was
sure.
the long green bar, which didn't have a wrapper.
Yeah.
Sigi Simfana, do you remember that? He says that at the end, give me 6 bars.
Oh, like it was, so, people were so good, and it was multilingual. There was that. There was. I'm trying to think which other one.
So when you said adverts, the one that came to mind was Sunlight. I remember Coca-Cola. End of but I guess that was more streaming from an national kind of level.
Yeah.
From the Chibuku ones, always sparked as well.
No,
I don't remember.
there was so much talent in them, like in that space. And then do you remember Econet when they introduced Buddy? And they did this whole rollout for a while where it was like something like who's your buddy or where's I forget what, but I remember I was at school at the time. I forget whether it was a primary or secondary, but I know Uti, like even when we went back to term, we were like, oh, wonder what that is. Like, because the advert had been like going on all throughout the holiday, and everyone was like, what's Buddy? I think it was the ad, like, what's Buddy? Like, people were like, what's Buddy? And then they introduced the SIM card. Because I think the Buddy was pay as you go, right? Or something.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
But
do you remember
so
Mango? Do you remember Mango? I think it was a same thing like Equanet. I think it was like a line.
What happened?
I don't know what happened to Mango.
I think I remember.
I don't quite remember what exactly it was.
I think I remember. It didn't survive though. Except if it was bought by
somebody else. Yeah.
Bigger companies.
Ezim.
Yeah.
Do you remember the advert Ezim where they showed the pilots inside the cockpit? You don't?
No, I don't remember that one.
Ezim was good.
Man.
I remember growing up, I always wanted to be an air hostess. One of my uncles was a pilot.
Really?
And I always used to think, oh gosh, it'd be so amazing. Just traveling to different places, serving people food. And then somebody turned around and said that, being an air hostess is just this, Zimbabwean standards. Watakona is just the same as being a maid just up in the sky.
Who said that?
So someone in my family. I think, it would have been quite nice to be a maid up in the skies.
Yeah.
But getting to see spaces, places.
Yeah.
And that man never got me in. I don't know what I didn't have.
Yeah. But remember back in the day, it kind of felt like to be an air hostess, you needed to be like model-esque, like tall, slim. I think they actually used to have that as like
it definitely wasn't
criteria.
That. Oh, really? You had to be a certain height.
I think so. Guys, let us know if it's. But I think that. But now I know it's no longer the case.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm like, yay to diversity.
Yeah.
Because why should you like sexualize a whole career, whatever.
Actually, I remember when Ezim was it Ezim? Me and Vanessa once traveled home together, like on the same flight. And there was this guy who was serving us. Yazi, we got extras of everything.
Oh, wow.
The joys of traveling, Zuzi.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, we ate sadla. And you were like, we're still hungry. Vanessa, Vanessa, press out your button. Vanessa, press, the guy came.
You so beautiful ladies.
And he was beautiful ladies.
They need to be fed.
They need to be fed. All of Vanessa, let me give this one food. So yeah, that was nice. It's that 10-hour flight from Gatwick straight home, guys. Ish.
Listen, Ezim was the ghetto of the ghetto.
But it was just so convenient, not having to stop anywhere.
No, but then if you're going to Bulawayo, like you stop in like Harare, and depending on what time you arrived, then either you, I don't know,
connected.
God,
I remember a time when it was just so affordable, like that connecting flight. Yeah. Now you go to South Africa, it's like you could literally go to Greece. You could go to Zante for the amount that it costs you to travel from Joburg to Bulawayo. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I remember, I used Ezim a few times. It's okay. It's fine. But I remember the last time I traveled that straight from London to Harare route was like I remember got there, but to be fair, I guess it was maybe about 2000 it was a very, very long time ago, like maybe even 2008 or something, but it was like peak when things were hard, like in Zim. Got there and like there was no electricity at the airport, so like there were no there was no power to like, is it the carousel where they put
it's in Harare.
In Harare, where they put like the luggage, like it wasn't there. So literally like those guys were like fukaring the luggage and like, and I said, this is the ghetto. I was like, the ghetto of the ghetto. And then get there, obviously you got your luggage and everything. And then this one woman pissed me off and she was like, oh, and then I think she said something to me in Shona, right? And I was trying to kind of Lisa back because I'm like, I need to go. And then she's like, oh, you've forgotten your language. I'm like, blip, blip. I'm like, blip, like, bruh, first of all, you can see my surname on there is Fuyan, right? Has it occurred to you that maybe maybe Shona is not my first language? That's when I said, you know what? Screw Robert Mugabe International Airport. I never want to set foot in that airport again. And ever since that day, I purposely go to ORT Bulawayo because I cannot be asked to pass through Harare and deal with that. But again, I could be wrong because that was many years ago. So, but that one experience, I said the combination of the airport just being the ghetto and everything that was happening, yes. I was just like...
Listen, don't speak too loudly about that because Bulawayo Airport, it was literally... I remember when they were in the shed. Do you remember when they were in the shed?
Yeah. So, I don't think I've gone to the main... They're now at the main place?
Yes, okay. They are now at the main place. Thank heavens. But that's shed. It was literally just a shed.
Yeah.
It was... And you're talking about the whole luggage.
Yeah.
So they would offload the luggage into like a pickup trucks.
Yeah.
So you'd see them. So load the luggage from the plane, from the aeroplane into the pickup truck. Then they'll drive the pickup truck to the door of the shed. Then they'll just literally then offload. Yeah. But people in Zimbabwe, like people who work in like that environment are strong because you need to be strong. People carrying over 30 kilograms in luggage, and which is one of the good things about ESM, I think at that time, was that the luggage was good. Katesi, like, if you're traveling with all these other airlines, they'll say you can't exceed like over 30 something kilograms. So you can have like however many kilograms you want, but you need to put for the safety and, health and safety of those people who are lifting that, because it's heavy. But, when we're traveling to Zim, you're literally there of overpacking, overloading it.
But it's because of the need. Like, you know, like when you used to go Gat, especially Gatwick, you just see abantu abamnyama, like suitcases all over the place. But now I, travel home, like even when maybe other people in my family are traveling, I think we now try. But now what we try and do is just say we'll pay for the extra suitcase, right? Whatever it is, like, because that whole. Have you ever had the stress of having over and trying to, first of all, try and negotiate to whatever maximum they let through, and then the hand luggage having almost 20 kilogram hand luggage, but you're trying to act like you're normal. Cool.
Do you know what I used to do with the hand luggage, right? So I'd go and I'll check in. I'd have my 8, if they say it's 8 kilogram, I'd like go check in, they weigh everything. I'd have someone on the side with a bag. Then I'll go to the toilet. In fact, show me this inside. So after they've weighed and they put the little sticker, then off you go, And I never really used to have a problem with that. So it was just like a little trick.
By the time I remember one time going to Zim, I probably did like what you're saying with the hand luggage. You put some more, and then you have like your little paper bag. I remember one time I was like for my little cousin. I don't know. We bought like some either teddy bear or some this big thing that I was carrying. As I was sweating from Heathrow, wherever, to by the time we got to and you give the people those things, but it's worth it when you just see like how happy they are. But I think for me, maybe there's an aspect of getting a little bit older and maybe having a little bit more means. It's just like, I'm like, I want to travel comfortably. I don't want to have that stress of, having 40 kilograms hand luggage and like going through airports. So, and I maybe like, especially when I started traveling like to America often, it's such a difference. It's such a different experience.
Yeah, of course. Because you're going on holiday.
Yeah, but even, there's Americans, like it's just different because when people are traveling from a place of means to another place of means, like, people are just so cool. It's just a different experience. But when we are going home, like you can feel.
Although, like, I also feel sometimes traveling into Europe with or Ryanair or, one of the budget airlines.
Yeah.
That's also that I find that's also stressful because everything is just extra. You pay if you want extra, like so if you want to carry more than your hand luggage, you pay extra. And you're like, no, I'm only going for a weekend, so all I need is just access to my my toiletries. You can't carry too many toiletries because the space, it has to fit into that bag. Like if you're not checking any luggage in, it has to fit into that little, the thing where you slot your suitcase in.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't fit in there, you have to then pay for that bag. And it's like costs crazy amount of money. So I think what I've learned from that is that whenever you're traveling like that, it's just pay for a bag. It's just easier. Get the bag into the, what's it called?
Yeah.
Luggage hold. It's just easier. But it is nice. It is nice traveling on holiday because, it's just, if they say 20 kilograms, and because you're not going to really carry that much stuff.
It's so nice when you go there, you weigh and it's like 18 kilos. Like there's no stress. Like it's so nice. But I do have to say, one thing that I am openly bougie about is travel. So... Okay. So I will maybe we'll say. So I used to work somewhere where I used to do a job where I had to travel to Glasgow monthly, right? So like at work, it got to a point where I literally told them, I was like, listen, no. So like, we'd book. I know it sounds bad. I refuse to go on Ryanair. I refuse to go on EasyJet. Like, I just don't. Like, I will my bare minimum is British Airways. And I know it sounds like and that's why I even hate traveling with people. I will not go on cheap airlines. I will not do it. Even like when I travel to America and it's interstate, I will not go on Spirit. Like I don't. Please, no, cut me out. I don't want that. I'm not going on any of these cheap airlines at all. And then another thing, let me just pack this in here. Another confession.
Go for it.
I've never gone past Baitbridge border.
Oh. You've never traveled to Zemba Road?
No.
Okay.
And God willing, I'm not about to. So that's why I say sure. I'm so careful when when people like let's try, and then they start saying, "Oh, we go to South Africa. We take us."
No,
I'm so sorry.
I think it comes with age. It comes with age, though. I feel when I first came to this country, and my first time going home, I booked to South Africa when my mom was there. And then I went by road and it was after that trip I knew I was never going to do it again. So that was my first time willingly doing it. The second time, unfortunately, it was funeral.
Yeah.
The rest of the times I've flown. Always. I don't, I complain, it's so expensive. I think the last time, which was maybe 2 years ago, I paid nearly over £300 for a ticket between OR to Bulawayo. £300. Like I'm saying to you, that's like a ticket. That's an all-inclusive holiday to Zante. But I would rather do that than go by road. So I think when you have the means and you have the luxury to do it, and I feel like
I'd rather not go. If I don't have the money, it dropped me out. Like I'm not. I refuse. But especially travel. Like that's what I'm saying. Travel is just my one thing. Even with like hotels. I remember I was saying to someone. That they were saying something about. Oh, and again, even like when I was doing that job where I used to go to Glasgow, Premier Inn. So I'm like, sorry, what? I could be a like so because we used to have the system, and obviously they'll be like, okay, you book like the cheapest, and like it got to a point like I had to get my account, given more permissions to do because I was like, I refuse to leave home and travel and sleep in a travel lodge.
Oh, I wouldn't do a travel lodge. But like, I remember when I was like, I feel like it comes with age. I feel like in case there's people listening out there feeling that, feeling pressure, don't. I remember when I first traveled to Asia, we stayed in boutique hotels, so not very expensive places. We traveled by bus between places. Like I went from, how long was that trip? An overnight bus from Cambodia to another place with chickens and everything else in there. So I think, now I feel, I work hard enough. I can definitely afford to stay in places that are a little bit nicer. I like nice things. I am not going to lie. I really value quality. I really value, nice experiences as well. So I'm not too fussed about flying, I don't particularly mind. I have spoilt myself once and flown, is that right? Flew premium economy, like with Emirates. That was nice. I have the blankets. Somewhere's the blanket. I always, do you know what I always take from airplanes? Is blankets, like red blankets that they give
the
you
little
to keep
ones.
them.
They're so handy, right?
They're so handy. So one of the good quality blankets that I had, actually I don't know what happened to that blanket. Someone must have stolen it.
Yeah,
was from Emirates. But yeah, so I think it's just there's a time and there's a season for things.
And you know what? You are very, very correct to say like it's age means, because I'm trying to think when. So, oh my God. I used to travel a lot, like with my friend Lucy back in the day, like when early 20s or whatever. The ghetto of the ghetto. So it's good to qualify. So, actually, even before that, I remember when I first started traveling to America. I used to stay at this place called Days Inn. Like, if
Days
you,
in is like travel,
or even worse, like it's like a motel. Like people in America will know, like days, like day. But you know what? That was at the time it was cool. Like I remember, like and you would be able to stay there for, even like 2 weeks or whatever,
and afford it.
Yeah, and like it's Days in. I vividly, I think like a lot of, I don't know if Days in is like in other parts of whatever, but I remember like California, like Days in. And then I remember later on when I was to travel with my friend Lucy, oh my God, one time when we traveled to Chicago, we got this hotel. I forget the name. When I tell you, like we got into the room, it was damp. There was a single bed. We're like, but we ordered two, like two double beds. It was just
Dirty.
yeah, that was Chicago. One time when we went to New York, this was me and Lucy again. We got this place in Queens, in I forget Forest, but it's a place in Queens, and it's like maybe coming to London and then having a hotel in Romford. Right. So first of all, I remember that New York trip was just, it was my first time going to New York. When I tell you I wanted to go back that first day, it was that hard. Like we did things wrong. Like we got off at Newark Airport, so we took which is in New Jersey, a totally different state. So we took the coach to New York, get to the Grand Central Station, and then try and connect with the underground, whatever. We're remembering London underground, where you at least have ticket people who will be kind and be like, here's the map, this is what you need to do. Americans, rude. Let me say New Yorkers, rude. Like, and we're there with our big bags, and there's no, the stations, they're not as accessible as here. Like, like in terms of escalators or lifts. I don't even know how, people with different accessibility needs do it. Maybe it's all changed. It was just the ghetto. Literally, I was like, oh my God. It was the ghetto of the ghetto. Then we went, some dingy hotel in Queens. But you know what? We enjoyed ourselves. We were there for like 2 weeks. And even within those 2 weeks, we then took it's called like a Chinese bus or something. So we did New York. Until we were in New York, so we did Washington DC, Virginia, and Maryland. So it was like a 2-day trip. But you take what they call Chinese buses.
Okay, so like the chicken buses.
Yeah, but then they mostly cater to Chinese tourists.
Oh, I see.
Right. Okay. But you'd have like a package. So the hotel was like, so me and Lucy were like, okay, yeah, cool. And it was like, the price should tell you everything. Like, it was like, we're like, oh, it's $100, whatever. We do, other states, we're like, cool. We go there. First of all, I think it took us to a place called Flushing, which is the ghetto of the ghetto. Get there. There's this, I need chicken bus. Bomb. When I think about this. Get there. First of all, we get into this bus full of Chinese people.
What's going on?
What the heck? What's going on? And then we go in. Literally, I'm saying to Liz, because my bouginess comes and I'm like, let's just get off this bus. Let's go back. Let's cut it a loss. Let's like, no, let's see, whatever. And then we're there. And then they were translating from Mandarin. Like, by the time I got off that whole trip, I now knew. But you know what? But then I think there are people who also take those buses because it's cheaper. But maybe if you want to go to Philly or whatever. But you know what? We ended up having so much fun because, first of all, we were the only black, and everyone was taking pictures with us. Because they want to take pictures with black people. We did so much. We went to some place, I forget, some place in Alexandria, Virginia, which is it's some cave. It's like a cave in. I forget. We did Washington DC, and we did like the Abraham Lincoln, the statue. And I remember I really wanted to see Martin Luther King's statue, but obviously all those people didn't care about Martin Luther King. And then me and Lucy were trying to run to go and see the Martin Luther King. We did that. We went to Maryland. We passed through Philadelphia as well. So we did all of that in like 2 days. And I think I have one of the guys on my Facebook till this day. But you know what? I would not have had that experience if we'd just gone to some bougie Manhattan hotel. But then I say that to say, you know, I paid my dues. I was, you know, young and agile then. At this age, I want to. So that's my fear of then like traveling with people who will be like,
let's cut costs here and there. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. So,
and it's difficult, I think, traveling with other people. You need to travel with somebody that you are probably on the same wavelength, because people are different on holidays. You know, some people want to chill out. Some people want to be up at the crack of dawn and seeing places. So yeah, I think that's also another difficulty. I remember one group trip we had. How many? I've forgotten how many there was of us. And this was like, you know, all our Zoom friends. And it was a challenge because, you know, others, I can't walk, you know, and you're like, oh, let's walk, explore, see the place. And then others, no, I can't eat this. It was just hard. And I knew like, no, I definitely can't do.
I could never do
I can't do group trips. But I had gone there with my friend Urambi, and I realized that we're the same. So like so most of my trips abroad have been with her, because I find that we're quite similar. We like to chill, eat, walk. So there's no pressure of getting up at crazy o'clock in the morning to explore.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's about finding someone. So like me and Lucy, I think we got on well because even like with our planning, we would factor in like rest days, and we would factor in like, let me go to the mall, let me give you space. Right? Like you would literally like factor that in, because obviously there's going to be a day when you're like, listen, me after day 3 with any particular person, please, I've had, it's enough. Like, please give me space. So, but we would factor that in. So that was nice. And then now, most of my travels have been solo, but then solo where there's maybe, for example, like that's why like with LA, it's like cousin, friends. So I maintain that independence, but still having the safety of knowing that there's kind of people close if there's a need. What I'm yet to do is really do like a solo trip where I go somewhere like where I know no one. I think I would be scared to kind of really just.
It's so liberating though. It is so. I mean, I think my problem is that I do well in my own space. It is, you make friends. You know, you talk to people. You realize that, you know, as long as you can speak a common language, you can factor in things that, because if you're going to a place, if you're going to a particular country and, you know, there is things that you have in mind that you want to do, like touristy things, lo and behold, there's going to be someone who's got the same idea. It might not be on the same time frame. Like they might be thinking, oh, I'm going to go to that place next week. And you're thinking, I'm going to this place tomorrow. But you can then align and come together. I love solo trips so much.
No, I do too.
But where you know nobody else.
I think for me it's more a safety thing. I think I just like the comfort of just being like, if I need something, but then like most, like for example, like when I go to LA a lot, I'll spend probably half of my trip on my own, right? Just doing my own things, maybe meeting friends here and there for like lunch or whatever, right? And then later on is when I probably connect with like one of my cousins. But then I'm always like, listen, you're at work, fine. Then I get to do like the annoying touristy stuff that they wouldn't care about, like go to, be in the studio audience and stuff. Things that, other people be like, oh my God, that's so annoying. I don't want to be with people who will be annoyed at what I enjoy. Like, I enjoy this. Like, let me enjoy it, right? Yeah. So I think I would do like it's just like probably would just need to be like, hey, do I have all my insurance in place? Do I, do people know I am? Yeah, no, just because you read so much about. So even when I'm out there, like I'll always kind of like tell people, or even tell my cousin, like share my location and just be not for anything, but just
Yeah, I think I probably. You're right. Maybe. Anyway, I'm sure my solo trips are fine gone now. But I'm just thinking. So when I was in Bali, for example, I spent like a week on my own.
Yeah.
And I think that was the bits that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I was checking in with I probably was. Maybe I had friends here who were like, oh, just let us know that you're okay.
Yeah.
So every so often I'd be like, yeah, I'm fine, But it was just, honestly, it was so liberating to sit down and plan your day and be like, yeah, so today I'm going to go to this place. And then you get to that place and you'd meet other people like, oh, hey, so, when did you get here? Where are you staying? Blah, blah, blah. Great. So let's link up tomorrow evening. And then you plan your day, like, you do what you wanted to do, whether it was chilling by the pool or going to the beach, And because I love walking, like do a lot, and not many people would like enjoy that aspect. So you're just going, carrying my little backpack, my phone, and then just going to chill by the beach, going to hotels and then like going to their like, pool areas and stuff. It's I thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah. No. Yeah, actually, you know what? I should challenge myself.
Yeah.
And go somewhere, shake, in a yacht. But no, definitely. Like I will do something because I'm really particular about who I travel with. Like I think of, like I talk to people and be like, oh, we should do stuff. Whatever. Then I think to myself, oh, like will we really like enjoy? Because I am extra. Like, and what I would hate is to be around people that would be like, no, don't do this. Don't post. Like I hate that. Like leave me to enjoy myself. Like I don't like being policed and all that stuff. So that's why I'm like, I sometimes like I just enjoy just doing me, just being on my own. But yeah. But anyway, talking about no, there's no nice segue. Anyway, have you been watching Love Island?
Just yesterday. My first episode.
Yeah. So I've never watched Love Island. I just watched 2 episodes of this season, but I feel like I've always kept up with Love Island because of social media. Social media is lit. Like you can follow what's happening. But then, listen, maybe at the time this episode comes out, because we're recording it a few days before things may have changed. But this whole thing of, Black women not being quote unquote chosen, like on Love Island, is becoming so annoying, right? So at the time I was watching, there's this girl called Kaz and then this girl called Rachel. Kaz was paired up with this guy Toby. I think Toby's like a mixed race guy, but you could tell he's not into Kaz. He's definitely not into black girls. Because most of them on Love Island, if they ask what's your type, blonde. But is blonde a personality type? Like, is blonde a personality type? So I was just like, man, but Love Island is a, it's a small sample of the world. It's not the full thing, but it kind of, it just kind of got me thinking about just, I just think maybe black women should just stop going onto these shows. But at the same time, I think some people do it because, you live there, you now become an influencer, you get more followers, there's more opportunities. But I think, like, how many times do we need to be shown that these men, even black men, will not pick black women?
It's always the same though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It literally is. Even I think in previous episodes.
Yeah. It's just always so there's this guy called Aaron. Like I said, maybe by the time this episode comes out, things will have changed, whatever, because we're recording before. This guy called Aaron is a black guy, but just there's a coconut guy. Like, just, first of all, he was using those terms. He was like, because he was paired up with it. Okay, so this is what happened, which was so funny. He got paired up with this girl called Sharon. Sharon looks like she's not white. I want to say kind of like Filipino or something, right? I think she's mixed race, but I believe probably mixed with Filipino, right? And she's one of the. She kind of had that complex, like, mixed race, jan, whatever. But then it was interesting that she and some other girl called Faye, whatever. There was this game that they were playing, and this guy called Hugo, who's in the game, who's in the house. He said that his preference is natural looking girls and not fake looking girls.
Whatever that means.
Right. But they took particular offense because I think they've visibly had work done.
Oh, right.
Right. But that's his preference. So what? Do you know what I mean? But they took offense, and then they were like, sort of like having a go at him. And
Jan, when you say what he likes.
It's one of those things where the points that they're making are fine, but I feel like it was just overkill because they were trying to say, you need to understand why women make the choices that they make, and pressures of society, blah 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 blah. And then this Sharon girl, right, opens her mouth to say, just like, because he comes and he's like, no, I want to apologize. And he's like, just like I wouldn't say, I wouldn't date someone because of their height or their race. Like, why are you equating race to elective cosmetic surgery?
Johnny, guys.
It kind of just weakens the whole, like race. Like, are you serious? And then anyway, Aaron, who was paired up with this Sharon, was now like, she's a bit fiery, isn't she? She's a bit fiery, like, I don't really like that. I don't really like fiery girls.
Fiery. I think you said foreign.
No, fiery. Fiery is a bit. But obviously, those are code words. So it was like it was like, Dogo, you did what a lot of these guys do, choose non-black women, hoping that they are, whatever. And then when she starts showing you like she's not a pushover, you're like, oh my God. So people online were like, he could have just said aggressive, angry, like all the terms that they use like for black women. But it was funny that, it was like, you thought you were getting yourself a, nice, quiet. But Love Island is just... guys, black women just need to stop going on there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
And then someone said, how are you a black man and your type is blonde? I'm so sorry. Like, I'm on my Dr. Uma on this. Like, I don't get it.
Nah.
I don't get it. But yeah, that is Love Island. And anyway. Oh, we hadn't even say to the guys that this is our
season finale, guys. This is us for a little while. We're taking a mental health break.
Yes.
A necessary one.
Mm-hmm. So this is this is our season finale, guys. Season 3. Whoop,
done.
Thank you so much. And we actually haven't had a break from February.
Yeah.
Like we've gone from February up until now. So we're taking a break.
Mm-hmm.
We will be back in, I don't want to give a time, but realistically, probably end of September or so is when you can expect us to kind of resume. But, you know, if you miss us that much and you're like, whatever, like we will, like if you're on Patreon, you will continue getting content on Patreon. And the Patreon guys are the guys who keep the lights on. You know, they help us to manage the pod. So thank you very much to them. And yeah, if you would like to support us, you know, we would be so grateful if you joined our Patreon family. You will continue getting content. So on Patreon, you get one additional Patreon only episode per month. So we will continue doing that. But we may add more. So if you miss us, we'll be on Patreon. So Xolie, you usually have like your poems and whatnot.
No, not today. I am unprepared.
No wise words?
No wise words. Guys, we'll be back.
Yes, we'll be back. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a hot girl summer, hot boy summer, cold, warm winter summer if you're in Zim and stuff. But yeah, so let's just go to the music.